Did you know that you can personally remove a repossession from your credit report? Yes, you heard that right. I'm Gary Branch. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. In today's video, we're diving deep into how you can clear that repossession off your record and reclaim your financial freedom. Stick around because there's a little known secret that can make all the difference. Let's get it. All right, y'all, it's teaching time. Let's get it. A repossession occurs when a lender takes back a car because the borrower has defaulted on the loan. And we all know this could leave a devastating impact on your credit score, but don't worry, I got you covered. This doesn't matter if it was a voluntary repo that you gave it back or you missed the payments and the snatch man came and got it, repoed it. It does not matter. But the first thing you have to do, you have to do your due diligence and understand your rights. And to understand your rights, I want you to check this out. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has consumer laws in place to protect you, the consumer, against fraudulent and inaccurate reporting by credit bureaus. We're going to call them credit reporting agencies. I hate to call them bureaus. They're really a reporting agency. Let's correct that right now. Because you got, and the reason why this is important is because when you hear bureau, you think FBI, stuff like that, bureaus. They're a credit reporting agency. The only bureau is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So I say it sometimes by accident because of habit, but I want to break that habit. I want to break your mindset. Credit reporting agency and creditor. So the Federal Trade Commission has consumer laws in place to protect you against fraudulent, inaccurate reporting by credit reporting agencies and creditors. And it's important to know these rights before you start the process. And you can find detailed information on the FTC's website, but I'm gonna break it down for you. Now, let's start here. Uniform Commercial Code, right? The Uniform Commercial Code, Article 9, default, repossession, and disposition of collateral. That's what the Section 9 is about. So we're going to start with 9506, effect of errors or omissions. So let's go to effective errors or omissions. Now, here it goes, effective errors or omissions. Minor errors and omissions, I'm just going to breeze through this because we're not focused on the minor because the minor you can't do nothing, but it's substantially, a financing statement substantially satisfying the requirements of this part is effective even if it has minor errors or omissions, unless the errors or omissions make the financing statement seriously misleading. Now, here we go. And you always have that financing statement that you always get when you purchase a vehicle. Now, financing statement, look what that says, seriously misleading. Except as otherwise provided in subsection C, a financing statement that fails sufficiently to provide the name of the debtor in accordance with 950-503A, right here, provides the name of the debtor. That's it. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to get into all that other stuff because it'll just be wasting time, like giving you, milk instead of the meat. So basically, they got to make sure their name is on that financing statement. Believe it or not, it could be omitted, right? So let's move on to the next thing. Now, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Now, 9611, notification before disposition of collateral. So they took your car, right? They cannot just take your car and go sell it off. They have to send you something in the mail, giving you a chance to redeem it, to purchase it back. I don't care if you gave it back to them. By law, they still have to do this, and it has to be done a certain way. So let's talk about that notification before disposition of collateral. 9611. In this section, notification date means the earlier of the date on which secured party, the secured party in this instance is the financing institution, whoever you purchase your car, who financed the car, to the debtor. We're not going to worry about the secondary obliger, but a secured party sends to the debtor. In this section, notification date means the earlier of the date on which the secured party sends to the debtor and any secondary obliger an authenticated notification of disposition, or the debtor and any secondary obliger waive the right notification. Now, if you told them, don't send me nothing, wrote them, told them, I don't want nothing, just forget it. Of course, it will have to be in writing. You just can't tell them that. Other than that, they have to send you authenticated notification. What does authenticated notification mean? I got it over here. I'm not going to scroll through all that and waste time, but I'm going to show you, right? Now, we're going to get into this stuff. We're going to get into it, but let's go back over here for a second. Notification of disposition required, except as otherwise provided in subsection D, a secured party, that's that bank, that disposes of collateral under section 9610 shall send to the person specified in subsection C a reasonable, authenticated notification of disposition. C, the person to be notified to comply with subsection, the secured party shall send an authenticated notification of disposition to the debtor, any secondary obliger, and if the collateral is other than consumer goods, any other person from which the secured party has received before the notification date an authenticated notification of a claim of an interest in a collateral by any other secured party or lien holder that 10 days before the notification date held a security interest in or other lien in the collateral perfected by filing of a blah, 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 blah. Let me get it. Let me get it to you. I had to break it down for you over here. I know that law stuff can get to you, right? So I had to go ahead and break it down, right? Break it down for you over here. The notification date is established as either. That's that notification date, right? Let's go back to it. Before the notification date, any person with secure price receipt before the notification date, an authenticated notification of a claim of interest in the collateral. But let's break this down here. So look, a secured party complies with the requirement of the notification prescribed by subsection C3B. Here we go, right here. Look, one, not later than 20 days or earlier than 30 days before the actual notification date. And I'm gonna break this down for you. The secured party requests in a commercially reasonable manner informing concerning financing statements indexed under the debtor's name in the office indicated in subsection C3B. Before the notification date, the secured party did not receive response to the request for information or receive response to the request for information and sent an authenticated notification of disposition to each secured party or other lien holder. All right, that's all that law speak. Let me break it down for you. Here we go. The notification date is established as either the date when the secured party sends the required authenticated notification to the debtor and any secondary obliger, or the date when the debtor and any secondary. So that's that notification date is the date when they send it, right? That's that notification date, the date they send it. This definition is important because the notification date can trigger various legal timelines and obligations. So let's unpack this. Let's unpack it. Let's unpack it. Secured party, that's the lender. That's the entity that has the security interest in the collateral provided by a debtor, so, or to the debtor. So in other words, it's the party that holds an interest in the property as security for the debt or obligation. They are the secured party. That's them. Now, the authenticated notification. This means a notification that has been verified or confirmed in a manner required by the relevant legal standards. Authentication could be various methods, such as a signature, electronic signature, or other forms of verification that establish the authenticity of the document. An authenticated notification is what they have to send you. Did they send it? Did they send it some mail or a certified mail where it don't come? Is they lying saying they sent it? It's a lot you can get out of that when you're trying to fight a repossession. Now, disposition. This refers to the sale, lease, license, or other form of transfer of the collateral when the debtor defaults on their obligations. The secured party may dispose of the collateral to satisfy the debt. So by right, by law, they can dispose of it if you default, right? But subsection B, inapplicable. This means that the requirement for the secured party to send a reasonable, authenticated notification of disposition to certain persons does not apply under the specified conditions. And I wanted to just let you know this because, just to let you know that there's certain things that it don't. If it's perishable collateral, we know a car is not that. Threatens to decline speedily in value, that's not going to be a car. You know what I mean? So if it's collateral is perishable, subject to spoilage, decay, they don't have to send a notification for that if they repossess something like that. I just wanted to show you that because that's in there in case I'm hoping you're going to go and read this yourself. So in case you read it, you see it, I gave you some contacts on that. But if it's not perishable, but is likely to quickly lose its value, they're also exempt from the notification requirement. And basically that's because they have to sell it fast. So, but other items that are highly volatile in value due to market conditions and other factors, right? So type customarily sold on a recognized market. It's the other thing. If it's the type that is typically sold on a recognized stocks, bonds, commodities, they don't need to send notification. The recognized markets have established receipts and transparency that ensure fair value without the need for identical or additional notification. Now, this is when we get to it here. Now, when we just read no later than 20 days or earlier than 30 days for notification date, this sets a specific time frame when a secure party must act. The actions must occur within that 10-day window. They can't do it. They can't send you that 50 days before the notification date. They can't send it to you 50 days before or all that after. No, not later than 20 days or earlier than 30 days for the notification date. This sets a specific time frame for when they must act. The action must occur within that 10-day window, right? Now, the secured party must ensure that the notification is sent at least 10 days before the intended date of disposition. That's what that's talking about. It has to come to you at least 10 days before, but they can't send it like 2-3 months before. At least 10 days before, no more than 30 days before, right? After default, it must be sent after the default has occurred. So, I mean, it's quite natural to come after the default has occurred because they're not even going to have it before then, right? The notification specify the earliest date and time of which the collateral will be disposed of, and this must be at least 10 days from the date the notification is sent. So when it gets to you, you have to have at least 10 days to be able to get there, get the car, purchase it yourself, whatever. Because look, it's to ensure that the protecting your rights. The purpose of this section is to ensure that the debtor and any secondary obliger have sufficient time to take any necessary actions to redeem the collateral before it's disposed of. So they can never tell you that you can't get that car. You do have a right to redeem it, but of course you would have to have the money to redeem it, right? Now, let's talk about the contents and form of notification before disposition of collateral. Check it out. Now, that's section 9.613. The contents of a notification of disposition are sufficient if the notification describes the debtor, and it got to describe both parties, describes the collateral that is subject of the intended. It has to describe that collateral. Errors like that can make things wrong. You have to describe the collateral that is subject of the intended disposition. States the method of intended disposition, meaning like they got to tell how it's going to be disposed of. States that the debtor is entitled to an accounting of the unpaid indebtedness, and states the charge, if any, for an accountant, and states the time and place of the public disposition or the time after which any other disposition is to be made. So they got to give you a chance, you got to write to the accountant on it, seeing what's going on, what it's sold for, all that stuff. And also, they just can't go and sell the car for $10 if it's worth $10,000. They just can't do that. And if they came and repossess your car, what's not on here that I didn't see on here that I know of is that they have to allow you in that disposition right here. They have to allow you to come back and get your property. If they repossess that car and there was something in there, they by law have to allow you to come get it. So that's two more things that you can stomp them on. Now, whether the contents of a notification that lacks any of the information specified in paragraph 1 are nevertheless sufficient is a question of fact. Not fiction, not maybe, but fact. The contents of a notification providing substantially the information specified in paragraph 1 are sufficient, even if notification includes information not specified by that paragraph or minor errors that are not seriously misleading. A particular phrasing is not required. The following form of notification and the form appearing in section 9.614.3 when completed, each provides sufficient information. So they got to give you a notice of disposition of collateral. This is what they have to give you. 2, that will be to you, right? From their information, right? Name, include only if debtors are not an addressee, right? Name of the debtor, right? For a public disposition, they got to let you know. We will sell. They got to say it's going to lease, license, applicable, describe. They got to describe the collateral to the highest qualified bidder in public as far. They got to give you the day and date, the time, and the place. And if it's private, we will sell or lease or license describe privately sometime after. Got to let you know. You are entitled to an accounting of the unpaid indebtedness secured by the party that we intend to sell. So you may request an accountant by calling us. They have to give you all of this. You have to get this form. You have to get that form, right? They got to give it to you. So check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. A notification decision must be a Yeah, I got ADHD. Y'all go to rambling and talking fast. A notification of disposition must provide the following information. Description, we just went over it. Description of the debtor and the secured party. Description of the collateral. The method of disposition, it should state the method by which the collateral will be disposed. Public auction, private sale, time and place of disposition. If the disposition is by public auction, the notification must state the time and place of the auction. If it's by another method, it must state the time after which the collateral will be disposed of, right? Now, that right to accountant that we just talked about, right? Uh-oh, let's cancel that. That right to accountant that we just talked about. Boom, 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 right? It should include a statement that you, the debtor, is entitled to an accountant of the unpaid indebtedness and the charge for any accountant. So they just can't go off and just be selling it, right? So now let's talk about the form of notification. Let's get it. Let's talk about it. The form of notification must be, it has to be reasonably detailed. It must be in a form that is reasonably detailed so that you, the debtor, and any secondary obliger understand what is being described and the actions that will take place. They can't just be putting some legal crazy mumbo. They got to be, they got to bring it down to your level. Sufficient in content. The content of the notification must be sufficient to inform the debtor and any secondary obliger about the disposition of the collateral and their rights related to it. And then a safe harbor form. The UCC provides a safe harbor form, which we just went over, which if you to be sufficient. And that's the name and address. We just saw all this. The secured party's name and address, description of the collateral, statement indicating the method of disposition, the time and place of a public disposition, or the time after which a private disposition will occur, a statement of the debtor's right to an accountant of the unpaid indebtedness and a charge, if any, for the account. So I'm gonna break this down for you. I know everybody understand things different, so I'm gonna break this down for you. So the purpose of this is clarity and transparency. This section shows that the debtor and any secondary obliger are clearly informed about the disposition process and their rights. Legal compliance, adhering to these requirements, helps the secured party comply with legal standards, thereby reducing the risk of disputes and legal challenges. Summary. 9613 requires that a notification of disposition includes specific information about the debtor, the secured party, the collateral, the method and time of disposition, and the debtor's rights. The notification must be reasonably detailed and sufficient in content to inform the debtor and any secondary obliger about the disposition process. Now, there is a special thing that you don't know about repossessions, but guess what? I'm about to talk about it later in the video. Just be patient. I'm gonna give it to you. Now, so this is what you want to do. Fight that repossession. You need to gather your documentation. Get that loan agreement. Any communication you had with the lender prior to it being repoed, any of that stuff. That payment history. Because if the numbers are wrong, it's inaccurate. The numbers have to be right. They have to be right. They can't just put any numbers on there. So payment history is good. The notice of repossession. They had to see you that notice, right? Sales details of the repossessed item. If they sold it, maybe you made it, maybe you didn't, but they still have to send you that stuff about the details. It was sold for this. This is what we got for it, all that stuff, because it matters, because they can't sell a $5,000 car for $2. That's illegal. You want to keep everything organized and accessible, because we're going to fight these folks. Now, check it out. Now, let's talk about identifying them inaccuracies. Now, already, I'm not here to talk about, what's accurate from one bureau to the next. It's not what we're here to talk about. Are any dates incorrect? Are any amounts incorrect? Was it a failure to receive proper notification? Was it not sold in a commercial reasonable manner? So listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to show y'all something right now. If you want to know something, right? Watch this. Because I didn't put the definition of this on here. I'm never shooting fluff. What does this mean? That's ChatGPT right there for you. Look, the phrase "the item is not sold in a commercially reasonable manner" refers to the legal standard applied to a sale of collateral and a secured transaction. And this is what I already told you about, right? This term is commonly used in the context of repossession and sale of collateral by a lender, who is the secured party when a borrower, debtor, falls. Look, in a commercially reasonable manner. The sale should meet the following criteria: fair market prices. The sale process should align with typical market prices for selling similar items, ensuring that the item is sold for a fair price. I already told you about this. Adequate notice. Proper notice must be given to the debtor and any other interested parties about the time and place. Effort to maximize value. The sale should aim to maximize the value received for the collateral, which could involve advertising, holding the sale at an appropriate time, and using reputable sales methods or venues. So they're supposed to maximize the value, not cheapen it, right? Reasonable timing and conditions. The timing, place, and terms of the sale should be reasonable and not disadvantageous to the debtor. If a sale is deemed not to have been conducted in a commercially reasonable manner, the debtor may have grounds to challenge the sale. This could potentially result in the sale being invalidated or the amount of deficiency the debtor owes being reduced. That's why this is important. Paperwork is important. I don't want all that paperwork, all that. Do you want to get over this stuff or not? Paperwork is important. So look, now we're going to talk about disputing with the credit bureaus. All right? Simple. You just identified all that stuff. You're going to find something in it. It's going to be something. Your letter just need to clearly state the inaccuracies and provide supporting documents. Highlight the errors, explain why the repossession should be removed from your credit report. Send it off. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Send them certified mail, right? You want proof of delivery, right? And now let's engage in the creditor. Listen, at the same time, simultaneously, you need to contact the creditor. Request an investigation. Ask the creditors to investigate the same inaccuracies, provide them the same documents you sent to the credit bureaus, and request a 1099-C form. If your credit report says charged off, if the debt was charged off, the creditor should have issued a 1099-C form. This indicates that the debt was forgiven and should no longer be reported. So listen, one thing about me, I like to teach, I like to educate. I'm not a gatekeeper. Watch this here. Watch this here. I'm going to give it to you right here on this video. Come on, man. Ain't nobody going to give it to you like me. Like, subscribe, like, follow. They ain't gonna give it. Look, cancellation of debt used in the United States to report a cancellation or forgiveness of a debt owed by a taxpayer. It's issued by lenders or creditors when they cancel or forgive debt of $600 or more during the tax year. Look, the form is typically issued by financial institutions, credit unions, federal government agencies, and others that provide credit and subsequently forgive or cancel part or all of the debt. So when they go by and sell that thing, you're going to see it updated on your credit. That's another thing on that credit report. Whatever that, let's just say when they repoed it, it was 20,000 left. If they sold it for 5, that 15 going to be on there. But you're supposed to get a 1099-C. It is taxable income. It is. But there are certain exceptions and exclusions where the canceled debt may not be taxable, such as debts discharged in bankruptcy, insolvency, certain student loans, some mortgage debts forgiven through foreclosure, or loan modification on a specific certain. That's different. But this form includes information about the creditor, the debtor, date of cancellation, amount of debt canceled, and the fair market value of any property involved. There you go. And they must file it by, copy the debt by January 31st of the following year. So if it says charge off, they're lying to somebody. Here you go. Watch this. I'm going, what is a charge off? I'm just going to give it to you. Let me teach you here. It's usually a credit card company, right? But watch this, just because it say that. We're going to get back to this. All repossessions and charge-offs are related but distinct from that. Here's how. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Look, a charge-off is a declaration by a creditor, usually a credit card company. But if you've been looking at your credit report, you'd say charge-off for your repossessions, right? Missed payments, round one, and they significant because they have substantial negative impact on your debtor's credit, blah, right? Car repossession charge are related, but here goes some differences, right? When a borrower defaults on an auto loan, lender may take back, repossess it, right? The lender typically repossesses the car after a series of missed payments according to the terms of the loan agreement. A repossession is reported on a borrower's credit report can significantly damage their credit score. Yes, it does say repossession on your credit report, but it's going to say charge off as well. When the lender decides that the debt is unlikely to be collected and writes it off as a loss. So if your credit report say charge off, who's lying? Are they lying to the credit reporting agencies saying it's a charge off and it's not? Or are they lying to you? They charged it off but not giving you the 1099-C. I'm giving you more game to fight it right there. It occurs when the lender decides that the debt is unlikely to be collected. This after a period of delinquency, often around 180 days of non-payment. Repossessions, charge-offs are reported to credit bureaus. So the connection between the two. After a car is repossessed, if there is a deficiency balance, the sale price of the repossessed vehicle, right? The amount owed on the loan minus the sale price of the repossessed vehicle. The lender may attempt to collect this remaining balance. You know they're going to attempt to collect it. If the borrower did not pay this deficiency balance, the lender may eventually charge off the remaining debt. Therefore, a repossession can lead to a charge off if the deficiency balance is not paid. So you need to find out, did y'all charge this off? Because if y'all didn't, in my credit report saying charge off, what is going on? So there you go. That's going to take that. And these things do happen. So that's that, right? Let's get back over here. Now, so request that 1099-C form. If the debt was charged off, the creditor should have issued a 1099-C form. This indicates that the debt was forgiven and should no longer be reported, right? Now, here you go. This is how we're going to fight the credit bureaus. Request a copy of the 1099-C. A charge-off is a tax write-off, right? They're trying to collect on a debt that has been written off. If they have written that debt off, you got to just do your investigation, make sure that's the case for it. This is fraud. You can actually fill out an IRS tax fraud form 349A. This also makes it a violation of 15 U.S.C. 1681 EB, as they are clearly reporting information that is not 100% accurate. And now they're violating 15 U.S.C. 1681 S2 because they now have reasonable cause to believe the information is inaccurate. So they're willfully continuing to violate federal laws by continuing to report this information. Come on, y'all, let's get it. Now, check it out. Because this charge-off account is a canceled debt, the IRS states that federal or government agencies, we just saw this, right? Or applicable financial entities, a creditor who discharges, cancels, or forgives debts owed of $600 or greater, require that the creditor submit a 1099-C form. Now, some people will have you believe that they always submit those forms. Sometimes they don't. But somebody's lying. The credit report is lying or they're lying. And either way, it's going to be inaccurate. If my credit report says a charge-off on it, it can't say charge-off. It's not a charge-off, or that's inaccurate. Come on now. Listen to me. Take the game. Now, so it's now considered taxable income. We just read this. And income is not supposed to be included. Let's read this. Check it out. Now, if it's charged off, it's now considered taxable income. And income is not supposed to be included on the credit report and is not reported by Consumer Credit Reporting Agency. So therefore, this is inaccurate reporting. Come on, man. They ain't going to give it to you like me. They ain't going to give it to you like me. They ain't going to give it to you like me. So check it out. Now you can take legal action. You can do your homework and take legal action. Check this out. If your dispute is denied, don't give up. Here are your next steps. You can seek legal advice, consult with a lawyer who specializes in consumer laws. They can provide guidance on how to proceed and may take legal action against the creditor for inaccurate reporting. Maybe, right? Maybe not. You could file a complaint with the FTC if you believe your rights under the Fair Report. If you believe your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act have been violated, file a complaint with the FTC. File a complaint with the FTC. See, nobody gonna talk about the secret thing that they hide. All sauce, no fluff, what G give you. Come on now. So now we're going to monitor your credit report. Keep that thing monitored, right? After you've taken these steps, regularly monitor your credit report to ensure the repossession is removed. You can obtain a free copy of credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus. It was once a year. Right now, you can do it like every week from annualcreditreport.com. By understanding your rights, gathering necessary documentation, identifying inaccuracies, and aggressively disputing a repossession, you can significantly improve your chances of having it removed from your credit report. It's a detailed process, but with that persistence and the right approach, you can reclaim your financial standing. I did it. I removed a repossession from my credit report. If they don't take it off by disputing, sue they ass. Now, hey, listen here. Let me highlight this right here. Hold on, let me move this. We're gonna highlight this yellow. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on credit, finances, and funding. You can purchase my ebook, Erase Your Mistakes, Bye-Bye Repossessions, with detailed instructions and dispute letters that can help get your repo removed. The link is in the description. Like this video, leave a comment with your questions or experiences, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. Let's get it.